in Enfield. Good evening, Pastor. Thank you for joining us. Let's talk about the issue of vigilantism. It's an emotive and divisive issue. Do you support it?
Oh, my goodness, most definitely not. The idea of vigilantes anywhere in the world never actually works. It never produces anything for good. I've had the joy and privilege of living here in Enfield for many years now, and Enfield is a very calm, racially harmonized part of London. And so this idea of vigilantes and people wanting to take laws into their own hands, this is not the way. There are those who are trained, who are able to handle these matters well. It's the police. We ought to leave things in their hands.
I ask you about that because in Enfield, we've seen vigilantes on the streets there, and from what we understand is they've been broadly welcomed. What then does the local community do if the police are unable to defend them?
Well, I think that what you saw yesterday, we need to be clear about this. It's really, in part, well-meaning people, but unfortunately they can be slightly misguided as to the best way to handle these matters. What we need to do, those of us who have the privilege of being leaders in the community, is to speak to all of our people, all the different constituencies we have the privilege of leading in, and tell them to be calm, to leave things to those who are in the positions of authority, who can best handle it, lest situations escalate, and none of us want that.
I'm glad you brought up the issue of communities. Is there such a thing as one community? There are disparate groups within that community, so how do you engage all of them in the same dialogue?
Well, I think that a lot of this has to do with leadership. Every community may have different pockets of people, but they can function and live together in harmony as long as their leaders set the examples and they show themselves as models. And that's the kind of thing that we intend to do, aspire to do, and we do here as a church. We'll meet with, I spend most of my time today with the council and other people, you know, in interviews and so on. Right here in the community, we actually do have a lot of harmony here. It all comes down to leaders giving the right rhetoric at the right time to the right issues. What is not helpful is if we see looting and we just blame the government. No, we must give the right speech that addresses that, lest we empower people inappropriately. Leaders have to take their roles. Right now, leaders have to come out everywhere and help calm their communities.
But you say you have harmony where you are, but we've also seen some of the worst violence there. So that clearly means that there is a section of the community who does not want to engage in dialogue, and they can't be reached by community elders and community leaders, people like yourself. So what David Cameron is saying is that we need to come down hard and heavy on these people. Do you disagree with that?
No, I think what David Cameron is trying to say is pretty clear, that if the police had a particular posture that seemed to be on the defensive and basically accepting what is going on there, of course, they if they feel that they need to step it up somewhat, then they're going to do the things that they're trained to do. That's absolutely fine. You know, right here in Enfield, on Sunday when all of this kicked off, I was around, I was driving through the town because I care about this town, and it was very clear to me people were coming from outside into the town. And then yesterday we saw what we now, you know, pictures that we're not exactly very happy with, vigilantes, we say. These people can be spoken to, and I'm hoping that people from different aspects of the community, different areas, will speak to them. And by the way, I've got to tell you right now, there are people all around. I'm here, I am in Enfield town. I'm not feeling particularly threatened, and so there is peace. The police are here. My concern is that we not inadvertently escalate these issues at all.
Pastor B. Calliope, thank you very much for joining us and good luck with your work. The Mayor of London